Alright, here we go. For the three of you. Now, the quality on this may be a little laggy and bad. The reason because I devoted most of the power, my CPU and GPU, to recording it, not streaming it. The reason for that is there's a lot of people who want to see this who I've gotten requests from who can't make the stream. So I want to make this as high quality of a stream as I possibly can while recording it as high as possibly can. So that's why it's like that. Alright, since we got how many viewers? 0 people, okay. Wait for a couple people here and then we'll get rolling. Just 2 viewers, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. Welcome guys, if you guys do not know, if you just popped on for you're cruising it, this is the VRS Superbug beginner's tutorial. And a lot of people who I know who just got it, I'm mainly doing it for them, but anybody can tag along through. This video, this stream right here, will be covering the simple startup, shutdown, cruise procedures of this airplane. Navigation, simple navigation, I think crazy. So what we'll do is take off from Nellis Air Force Base, get on a flight plane and go down to Fallon Air Force Base, actually Naval Reserve Base, which is only about 100 so miles northwest of us. So it'll be a simple tutorial, how to use the HSI, how to start the airplane up, how to cruise it. Nothing tactical. For beginners, you should not even be seeing or putting anything tactical on the airplane, simply because it is very hard to learn tactical related stuff while you're still trying to learn the airplane. So it's like an airliner now. You're going to learn it, how to fly it, how to navigate it, how to use the autopilot, how to use VORs, take hands, not VORs, take hands in this airplane. ILSs, which this airplane doesn't have an ILS, but VRS simulated because there's an ILS option in the real world. Communication, radios, HSI, which is pretty much your map, how to navigate with that. Take hands, mainly, because on a ship, and this airplane does not have a VOR receiver on it. It's what's called a take hands, what the military uses. How to use those frequencies, and just how to get familiar with the airplane systems so we can go on to bigger, better things, tactical. So I'm going to wait and show you the flight plan real quick here. I got to go do 2 things to my other computer to get this ready. Okay, we're going to go in and get started. So, welcome to the VRS Superbug. We're simulating a cold and dark scenario. I actually did this flight backwards from Fallon to Nellis to practice, make sure I know everything, since I know how to fly the airplane. It's nothing wrong with that. The reason is because I don't usually follow the checklist. I just go off my head and use the onboard checklist in the airplane when I'm doing tactical stuff, because usually in the military everybody's got different checklists for everything. So I usually just go off my own. I learn the correct procedures of the flight here, so I can give you guys the rawest, best information possible to learn how to fly this airplane correctly. So first, starting off with the flight plan. This airplane, it's nothing custom, because real airplane is not a very advanced autopilot. You can go into the Superbug's avionics and figure out how to put custom waypoints in there with coordinates and elevations and all sorts of weird stuff, but I'm not going to go through that. That'll be in the advanced tutorial, how to do that. how to do sequences stuff. That's all through the software. Today we're just going to use FSX to make us a flight plan, VOR to VOR, from Nellis Air Force Base to Fallon Naval Reserve Airfield. So to do that, we just go to the abnormal FSX menu. To the flight planner, I already have a set Nellis Air Force Base to Fallon, IFR, VOR to VOR, find route. And this will show us our route up to Fallon. As you can see, it's just northwest of us. Cruise altitude, we will not be using that, so don't worry about that. Okay, save it. No, I do not want to replace it. You guys don't see it on the stream. Crap. Alright, you guys can't see it on the stream, but just go through. I'm sure most of you know how to do that. If you don't, just go up to the flights menu. Flight planner and all that information I just talked about will be in there to create your own route. So alright, beginning off, let's learn how to start the airplane. So when we first jump in this airplane, just simulate I just jumped in the airplane. And we're going to start from the left console here. We're going to start the volume control panel. Everything is how I want it. We will change that if need be later on. Engine crank switch is off, APU is off, the ready light is off, engine trim tab is centered, the FCS gain override switch is covered into the norm and covered, the reset FCS switch is out, the external tank switches are all in the norm position, even though we do not have any normal external tanks to pump fuel into the airplane, so it's a fairly short route. We have the refueling probe is to the retract position. Our dump switch is off. Our Gentai reset switch is into the normal position and reset. And forgot to talk about this in the ACM. You can do all the Gentai reset stuff and all the advanced stuff. I usually have that selected. For beginner's tutorial, that will be in the advanced startup tutorial. And for this, just to get off the ground for beginners, don't worry about it. It's some more advanced stuff you need to worry about, but when we start this airplane up, I'm not going to do anything with that because you really don't need to worry about it for now. External light switches, strobe on and position on, engines off, and the ground power we're going to be using an APU start, so all that is off. Launch bars and retract, landing lights off. The hook bypass, don't worry about it, that's for landing. Anti-skid is on, flaps are in the auto position. Our select jettison is in the safe position. Parking brake is set. Moving up here, our select jettison switches are all pushed out. Our canopy jettison handles fully forward. Push the jettison button is out, and our emergency jettison is out. Our arm switches into the safe position. Nothing selected for air or air to ground. Left and right DDI are off. The HSI and the UFC are both, the brightness is turned down, which means they are off. The HUD brightness is off. The engine display is fine brightness wise because that's going to come on as soon as I turn the battery on. Moving down here, we have our dispenser jammers and everything like that. That's all off. We have our little standby. That is off. We have all this stuff's same the correct thing. Altimeter set to 299.2 since we're just doing normal weather here. Hook is up, wing is spread. I'm actually going to turn that to the hold position. Hold position, there's three modes in the wing fold switch. There's fold, which is kind of self-explanatory. Fold up. Hold position is if they are spread or if they are in the up position, it just holds the wing there. And you can put them down halfway and hit the hold switch, and it will hold the wings right there. And the reason why we put them in hold if the wings are spread on the ground when we have plenty of room like this is because nose wheel steering needs the switch to be in the hold position on some models of the airplane before you turn the high nose wheel steering on, which lets us have full control of the nose wheel. Electrical switches, left gen, battery, and right gen are all off. Our emergency cooling switches into the norm position. AR cool switches into the off position, and spin is guarded. Coming down here, we have our air conditioning / pressurization panel. Car pressurization is into the norm position, and our air conditioning is to the auto position. Anti-ice is off, engine is off, bleed air is in the off position, the APU bleed air is off. Coming down here, lighting self-explanatory. I mean, as desired for whatever lighting condition. But even if the battery is on, the lights will not show up until an engine is started. A defog is off. Our windshield buttons and switches and modes are into the opposition. We are not refilling anybody, so that's off. Our flare, which is our laser targeting pod, is in the opposition. Laser target designator off, and the flare laser is off. We have INS to the nav mode, and radar is off. So that's your simple scanning. Alright, so now we are going to start the airplane up. Alright, so to do that, we're going to turn the battery on. Now we're going to get several indications when we do that. We're going to get the battery switch on the warning, all the warnings lights. We have the FCS switch is on, which means our flight controllers are not going to be in operating condition, which they are not since we just have the battery on. We have the engine, very simple, started up, no indications whatsoever. The off mode and the standby attitude indication is off, and it's kind of awkward because we haven't supplied it with enough information to get it realigned. After that, we're going to do one thing. We're going to test the fire.
Engine fire. Left.
To test
Engine
A mode.
Fire. Left.
They have to do this kind of quick because the
Right.
battery switches on a
Fire.
2-minute cycle.
Right.
So after 2 minutes, it will go to the
fire.
opposition if
APU
no other
fire.
electrical flow is
Lead air. Left.
connected
Lead
into the
air.
airplane.
Left. Lead air. Right. Lead air. Right.
Alright, test B.
Engine fire. Left. Engine fire. Left.
Alright, sorry about that. Start something else up.
Lead air. Right.
Alright, there we go. Alright, so fire test is done. I'm sorry you didn't hear it all, but it's the same thing as test A1. So we're going to cycle our battery switch. We got good voltage on the battery. And first things first, we're going to pull the APU bleed air. And we're going to start the APU. We're going to do an APU start. So we're just going to select the switch to on. In 30 seconds, you should get a ready green light. Alright, there's a ready green light. We have an APU accumulation over here. Now we're going to start a APU bleed start now. If you can see, we have got no other electrical power except for a few indications for feel. The reason because of that is because the APU is not supposed to, it's not like an airliner where it's supposed to have generators on it. It's just to start the engines. So now we're gonna start the red engine first. So we're gonna put the right switch, generator switch, into the on position. The APU bleed is going to be off. We're going to come over here and we're going to select engine crank right. When we first start, we're going to have 15% in RPM is going to, we're going to right click the throttle and put it forward at 15% RPM, and that will add fuel to the engine. It's like a cutoff switch on a 737. Good oil pressure, it's the first thing you got to check. Now we have full electrical power to the airplane as you see air conditioners kicking on. Turn our left and right EDI and our UFCF and HSI on. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we're going to start the left engine. Left engine generator on. Keep the bleeds off. Left engine crank. Same thing here. Supply thrust. There we go. Now we're going to check our indications once the engine goes to idle. So first thing first, we're going to check our bingo. We're going to put that 6.0. That's a good point. I put it at. Bingo feels good. We have 14.5 thousand pounds of fuel on board. That's fine. Now we're going to check our engines. 61% minimum for RPM when idling. Good. Temperature must be within 250 degrees and 500 degrees, which they are. Fuel flow needs to be within 600 and 900 pounds per hour. The oil needs to be 180, needs to be with, which is good. It's not any insane value. So next thing we do is we put the bleeds to norm. See the air conditioners turn down a little bit. We turn the APU bleed on, and the APU automatically goes off when it's no longer needed. If it does not automatically go up, you can instantly you can just turn it off. Turn the HUD on now. I do not like that red. We can turn that to a green using the hue button. Now, to make this easier for all of us, I'm going to pull up the HSI on the right DDI to show you guys this. And turn this off. We do not need to use the map at this point, since it's just confusing you. Alright, so waypoint 0 to, we're going to set this up. So the only thing you need to do, our flight plan's already loaded because I have a sex load to the airplane. We select the auto key, and that'll automatically set our waypoints to our autopilot on the airplane to follow that that route. And you see CPS sequence 1, that little thing, I actually have it on the autopilot, on the UFC. That is what we're going to select once we get in the air for the autopilot to follow that route. No SIDS, no stars, no nothing in this airplane. It's not really made to be departed with an autopilot. I will not depart it with an autopilot. I will take it off manually, then put it on the autopilot once we get to a comfortable altitude. Everything else looking good. We can test our light switch now. It's like a light test on any other airplane, testing all of our warning indicators. At this point, you can actually go into and change the brightness of the warning lights to whatever you want. Turn them all the way up, very bright section. Turn it off. That little beeping you sound was the gear horn. Alright, so we're just about ready to start taxiing here. Second thing we do, we are not doing anything tactical, so the radar and flare can stay into the off position. But normally at this point you would turn this to the standby position. Alright, so lights are on. We're going to do one final sweep of the cockpit, make sure everything is good. We're going to set half flaps. We are going to select the takeoff trim key. And if you see here, you'll see an advanced trim light, if it wants to work. There we go, advanced trim. There we go, okay. Now, I will run through a quick DDI tutorial, a quick just generic cockpit setup, because you're going to need this once we depart and start taxiing when I talk really fast and stuff happens quick. So, this is the left DDI. Each screen is a DDI. Now this is, I'm not going to call the center one a DDI, I'm just going to call it the HSI, because that's 99.9% of the time that's what's going to be on that screen. In the real airplane, in this VRS, you cannot change it to anything else. That's what it is, and it's the only color display in the airplane. Actually, in the real airplane, you can change it to some stuff that will be coming in the advanced Superbug, because it's the only colored screen on the airplane. Left DDI and right DDI are black and white only. They can have shades of black and white, but they're black and white only. And this is the right one, left one. That's pretty simple. In the center green display, it's not a DDI. This is a UFC. Now, usually you see like a CDU type thing, like an airliner right in the middle position. This is what makes this airplane great for pilots, is it's a touch screen. So when I do this, it's not something VRS did to make it easier for them. It's actually a touch screen in the rear airplane. You have to select, take hands, everything in here. So running through this, you have the ILS. ILS frequencies. You have your radios. Even I'll show you another way to set the radios that's much easier. You can have your autopilot, your roll, which is when you hear altitude, that's what this is. This will go off once you reach those. EW, which is a shortcut for early warning. It's coming in the advanced tutorial for weapon systems, and same avoidance, nothing you need to worry about. Take hand. This is the only function you need to learn about in the advanced tutorial. I'll go through air-to-air and receiver mode, but receiving and transmitting mode is the only thing you need to know about. IFF. This is something in the rail airplane in a combat scenario you can use to distinguish a friend from a foe, because the friends will be transmitting the same signal to you. It's like a transponder. It is a transponder technically, and if you try to shoot at them, the airplane will not let you shoot at an airplane with the same IFF code. And you can use that as transponder on VATSIM. I have it set. You only have to have 3 C mode set, C mode set, and it be on. And you can set it. So I have it set to 1200 enter, and I'm emitting 1200 as squawk code. So that's we also have another radio here, another channel. So that's all you really need to know about that. The DDIs. This little key, as you see the time, that's actually the time. Now I can select TAC view, which is a little rectangle TAC view. It's exactly what it stands for, tactical view. This will give you your stores, the weapons on the airplane. See, I don't have anything. Fortune 12 is the gun. I actually have ammo load into the gun. Radar, it's off. That's why I get that weird look. HUD. That's another reason if you lose your HUD. And SA, which is self-protect mode. EW, like I talked about earlier. And this is the mode that you only need to worry about right now, which is supplementary mode, which is you have your GPS position, you have your HSI, another HSI, you can put it up here if you want. That's what I'm going to have it up, since it's easier for you to look at. ADI, which is your another attitude indication. You have feel, which is just feel, how much feel you got. It's pretty self-explanatory. FPASS, which is this is what I'm going to be using most of the time, and I will explain it more in depth later once we get to the cruise. But it's pretty much what's telling me down here. This is what you really only need to worry about on long flights. Is my altitude. My optimum altitude is 3,377. It's going up, but that's my optimum altitude at 0.83 Mach. Will give me the best range of the airplane possible. And this is the only thing we do need to set though, since we do have 5 waypoints, and we can check that if we just go through waypoints on the HSI. It's like KNFL. It's actually 4 waypoints. 4 waypoints. KNFL is our 4th waypoint, so we can go down. And home is, since we're doing a flight to KNFL, it'll only be able to display if we have a home field warning. It means we do not have enough fuel to make it to our destination, which we'll have plenty. I would do a fuel planning tutorial in the advanced navigation, but right now a full tank of gas will do you fine for this route. Hang on. Alright. Another way you can set the radios is if you on a COM 1 channel. You can on this is very useful. You can set your radio here. So I'm on COM 1, which would be this one, and I can go 1, 2, 5, 7, 5. Oh, hang on. Okay, let's just say my frequency I went 125.5. Enter, and that'll set it here. Very nice. That's what I usually use. That's it in the function I was talking about. And on the other side, your FCS, which I would check now. We want 24 stabilizer when I pull back on the stick. We want 17. It can be different each flight, but 17 when we go down. We want 04, 40 when we turn rudder to the left, opposite to the right. Stabilizer when we turn. My stick's really bad. I got a new stick, but 22, 24 on your side. It's pretty simple. So checklist. This is the weight. The weight of the stores I have on the airplane, the fuel I have, the CG of the airplane, the fuel I have on board in my just simple checklist. So to taxi out, I will put the ADI and the HSI up. Actually, now I will put the checklist up on this one. I'm going to select N for WS high, and if it does not show up, that means your wing full position is in the spread position. Release the parking brake, and we will go ahead and go. I'll taxi to runway, I forget what it was, but the north-facing runway's at Nellis. Remember to keep the taxi speed down on this airplane. It's not a freaking airliner. This airplane it'll get really unstable if you taxi at a high speed and try to take a turn, so just keep that in mind. I'll go through some brief HUD indications here. This is your speed on the left in knots, your radar altimeter on the right. I can actually set that to baro now, just baro the altitude. Your heading, your gear and flaps and hook indications, your NWS, and the mile to your next waypoint, which is waypoint 1. This right here is when we take off. You'll see G. What's the other one? Okay, we'll explain in the cockpit. This is your angle of attack right here. The only time this will not show up is when you are with your gear down, flaps down, ready for landing in your vectors in the E bracket, which I will explain once we get to landing, and this will disappear. So I have differential brakes on. It's really hard to do this in this airplane. And actually, I forgot to do something. We're at ramp, but we can do right here. It's no problem. We can test our accessory items. We have our refueling probe coming up. That's working. We can test our launch bar, and we have a good indication here. LB and the green light. That means it is good. Can arm the seat. That was what I was going to do. Hook. Speed brakes. It's all working. There we go. Alright, we're ready to take off. Alright, so we're going to let the checklist. Controls are checked. Wings are actually... We're going to keep this in the whole position until we get on the runway. Trim set, flaps are good. Hook's good. Harnesses are strapped in, I guess. Warning lights are good. Nothing, no indications. Nose wheel is low. We will change that once we put the wings down. And seat is armed. Alright, let's teach you the correct takeoff procedure once we get on the runway. I hate differential brakes in this airplane. I gotta turn it off. Alright. And so nose wheel steering to low. You spread the wings. That gives me good indication. Alright, so that's the only thing we need to do. We're ready to take off. So this airplane, I'm going for about a 145 knot V2. Now at that speed, we're not going to do a high performance or dirty roll, as they call it, which would be nose up to about 90 degrees and full afterburner. I'm going to teach you the correct way. Very nice and gentle way to get the airplane in the air, which is what they would use in a noise obedience area, which is pretty much like an airliner takeoff. And it's hard to explain it. Just watch me. It's pretty simple. It's just a gentle, nice 50-degree nose up takeoff, and with military power. All right, so here we go. Taking brakes off. We're going to slowly advance my throttles to military power. There we go. Now this airplane's not, because usually I'd use afterburner. This airplane is not going to be speeding up that far, that fast. Alright, there we go. That's military power. Give it a little more gas. A little bit of afterburner, I guess. Alright, so 130 to 35, 145. Little pressure back in the stick. Home feel, because we're in afterburner. Flaps up, gear up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna 15-degree takeoff. Very simple. Very nice. Alrighty. Now we're going opposite of our route. And I'm actually want to go directly to waypoint. Not to. Actually, yes. Waypoint 2 is where I want to go to. So waypoint designate. So we can go to autopilot. Sequence 1. Which will take us to... crap, hang on. Auto mode. There you go. Sequence 1. Now, usually I will not take this airplane off an autopilot like this because it's a very, very, very gentle autopilot. It will not go over this bank angle. And what I have it on setting here is CPL sequence 1, so it's going to follow my route. And I have FPAH, which is flight path, which will hold the pitch I have in the nose, which is 15 degrees, which is fine for now since we're still climbing speed. Remember, this is a combat airplane; it can do this like day and night. Then once we get to our cruising altitude, I can put FPAS up real quick. Of 34,000 feet, which I will pretty much call it. We will select bolt mode, which is barometric altitude hold, which will hold the airplane at that altitude. Very simple autopilot. That's all you need to know. So once we get climbing here, 10,000 feet, we'll check our cabin pressure. Make sure it's nothing crazy. It's not. It's good. It should be this little indication right here. Now we have full afterburner set, which is not the advanced thing to do right now, but just doing it to get us to a good altitude. Now, if you can see here, I have this little blank because something was set, the trim was set, but it's not needed anymore. So most people get disturbed by having a hole like that. I can just press master caution once, and I will reset it. Like always, guys, if you have anything you want to see, anything you're confused about, post it in the comments. I will answer it. So 3,400. I would sit around pilot and bring it down to about very slight degrees, and I will purposely put the nose on a very low flight path pitch because it's easier for the barometric barrel altitude hold to hold the altitude if I'm at a very low pitch. You'll see that in a minute because usually, remember, the autopilot's not really crazy, amazing autopilot. It's a very simple autopilot, so it's very hard for my crazy pitch. Just kind of have to go up and down and try to get that altitude set. So there we go. Ultimate to set. See the nose bump up and down because it's trying to capture the altitude. So sequence 1 again, and Mach is crazy. It's saying I'm going over the speed of sound, which I can pull that throttle back. If you look at the FPAS, you say the Mach. Optimal Mach is 0.83. So we're going to wait for 0.3. Then we're going to hit Control R. Once it hits Mach hits 0.83, and that will key. That's pretty much your autopilot. Now, that might throw us a little more here. .86, 0.85, 0.84, get ready on Control R. Alright, so what I just select the auto throttle. You see ATC pop up above the CPL sequence, and that's saying I am on auto throttle enabled. And with, and I'll show you there's also a landing auto throttle which will keep your correct AOA and your speed when you land. And I will say it's a little different. I will explain that in the carrier landing video. or carrier ops I will do, because that's usually what you use it for. You usually use just normal throttle, manual throttle when you're landing normally. Most of you beginner aviators will see this 288 knots and say that's not a very fast. And they'll want to see like 400 or 500. This is completely bogus at this altitude. You never look at that at this altitude. Look at this, your Mach number. And that's how fast you're going relative to the speed of sound. That's what you usually use on an airliner above 18,000 feet. The same 0.83, so I'm going 0.84 now. We're at 0.84 speed of sound. 1.0 will be going the speed of sound, breaking the speed of sound. Normal airliner travels below 0.8. 0.8 would be fast for an airliner, and I'm pointing at 0.83, 0.84, so I'm going relatively faster than an airliner right now. Let's point throttle back. The auto throttle will not go in afterburner. That's the biggest thing. Most people don't get. It will not. It will try all its best to do. See what we're doing right now. To not go in afterburner. Alright, so now let's pretty much sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. In a combat scenario, we'll be doing a lot of other things at the moment, like getting your radar and scanning the ground, scanning for enemy fighters right now. No, none of that right now, though. We are setting sail for new horizons here. Went in the 2D mode. So just keep an eye. I will explain the HSI a little bit here if you guys want. First thing first, I'm going to explain the HUD. I already did this, but I'll explain it again. This is your angle of attack, 3.8 degrees. That's normal. This will disappear if your gear is down, your flaps is down, you're landing, and you have the E bracket. But if any of you saw it in takeoff, it looks like a line of 3 dash marks. And I would explain that when landing, because that's extremely important when landing. That's one of the biggest things you look at. But that's your AOA, angle of attack. Mach number, explained that thoroughly already. This is G-force on the aircraft 1.0, just normal weight. This is peak G, 8.2. So in this entire flight, the most G I've pulled is 8.2. I don't know where I pulled that at. Actually, that was part of the way coming here, because I did a high performance takeoff out of Fallon. So that's probably what that was. The gear flap, what this stands for is gear, flaps, hook, and that is this is saying that the flaps are in auto position. They're up, gears up, flaps is up. This is your Zulu time, pretty self-explanatory. This is your altitude box, your barrel altitude. I can also select radio, but it will not show anything at this point. It will switch back to barrel because there's nothing in there. I'm not close enough to the ground for radio to be accurate. This is your vertical speed, your rate climb, 0. Right now I'm not going up, now it's -10, so -20 feet per minute. That's what it's saying right there. CPS sequence 1, this is really your information for what you're doing at that point in time. So navigation information, which would be 1 of 6.1 degrees. Didn't really say target again. Yeah, okay, whatever. Well, that's the same targets. I have target set for the next waypoint. I'll tell you how to fix that in a second here. But that will usually explain the distance from a waypoint, which it is. It's distance to waypoint 2. ATC, which is I have the level set. And if you're on air mode, you will get your weapons information right here, in range, stuff like that, right here. That's your information box, pretty much. Alright, taken out of that, let's go back into this view. Blowing my HSI. I'm not going to go down there because it's hard to look at it from down there. But let's go from right here. So first things first. So what I have here, so I can actually select that auto. Alright, so it's going to want. The auto mode would be if you have several waypoints, automatically put them in a sequence to follow. In the advanced tutorial, I will show you how to do a custom sequence. So a sequence would be one waypoint to the next, like a route. That's what a sequence is. And I can have multiple sequences. So if I select this sequence 2, sequence 3, whatever, But I have it on sequence 1, I can put it on auto mode, and I'll automatically follow that sequence. This is your waypoint. You can select different waypoints and stuff like that. I've selected waypoint 2, and it auto mode will automatically switch waypoints once you get to this one. So up here, you have your target window. Now I have this box. I don't know why it's setting that. I gotta look that up. I gotta familiarize myself before I do the advanced tutorial. But you select that box if you want your current waypoint to be your target. Now automatically, when you're firing weapons and stuff, automatically program the weapons to follow that waypoint, program them to target that waypoint. Right here is your bearing to that waypoint, 294 degrees. It's my bearing off the nose of, if I follow that, I'm going to hit that waypoint. That's my range, 88 miles away. That's my ATE, which is my estimated time en route, which is 10 minutes. I'll be there. That's the name of the waypoint, OAL VOR. The fuel I'll have there, and if I wanted to descend to it at pretty much 0 feet, that's how many miles away I would start my descent. Over here, I'm not going to go through this because I actually have it set on the Tacpack, but if you go on the VRS Tacpack wiki, you can set, since your plane is a Tacpack, but VRS has supplied you with a chart which you can convert frequencies and VORs to Tacpacks. There's a complete chart. Say I have 115.10, which is MOVA VOR's frequency, and it said it's 98X is its Tacpack equivalent. So I put that in there, and now it's pretty much a VOR. It's telling me 303 degrees away. It's the same thing, everything over here. And if you have a Tacpack selected, it will follow the Tacpack. So, and that's. I'm trying to figure out the other part there. That's Tacpack select, that will follow to your Tacpack, and this is your Tacpack information. So I have the Tacpack set, so if I turn that off, the Tacpack off, it'll go away. ILS, if I have an ILS set, I do not, and this is a customer option on the real airplane. And of course I have that in there. If I was doing an ILS landing on the box set, it would tell me where to set up for it. Mode, this is pretty much useless, but TUP, NUP is north related, so it'll always point the map north. TUP is aircraft, so it'll always point the map to your heading. Always have the heading vertical to what your airplane's heading is. Usually it's like this. Usually I keep it like that. Totally custom. It doesn't do anything to anything on here. Just whatever you like. DUT is your map mode. So CIB would be nothing. Chart would be a display airspaces, and DTED would be your map. Now, yet for any of those, you have to have. I can't select it right now because I'm in the middle of something. I'll see in a minute, but you have to have map selected to show any of those. Now, a cool thing of VRS took charge of to model is to have any of those, you have to have map selected. Now, you see it's black and white. It looks really crappy. The reason it's because of that is because that screen is only a black and white display. If I go down here, which I'll show you in a second, it will be colored. And it won't show chart because it can't display color. Turn map off, it won't show anything. And this is, you can have it like an ND in like a 737 or an airliner. I prefer it just like compass rose though. She doesn't want to deselect now. I'll deal with it later. Okay, select what you decide to come back. Your range is scale 40 miles, 20 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles, 1 mile, 0.5 miles, 160 miles. I keep it on 80 for now, and the auto mode automatically change that. Sensors, that's something in the advanced tutorial I'll talk about, and your time here is to get you back to your page, or that page you were on. So keep that up. Alright, so down here on the main one, I'll show you the color display options here. Go into data, and go into mode. TUP is fine. Unbox this, I don't know why it wants to be boxed. Whatever. Alright, so I can select map mode. And that will show me a color display of the world, and that's actually accurate to the FSX world. It's a moving map, very cool. It does take away some frames, but that's your moving map, and from video I'll turn it off because it's kind of confusing to look at. But same thing down here, same thing it's up there. It's just color display. If I can go in a mode, I can select chart, put map on, and it'll show you the chart. There you go, in the airspaces. I'll keep it on that. So that's pretty much your general DDI tutorial. I'll show you the UFC real quick here. ILS, set your ILS frequency. We're not doing ILS landing, so that can be off. Autopilot, already explained about the page. TACAN, this transmitter receiver is pretty much what you want to set it for if you're landing on a carrier or any land-based TACAN that you want to know about or anything like that. You want to set it to. Receiver mode, advanced tutorial, and weapons avoidance tutorial. I will show you that later. Don't need to worry about it. Air-to-air is usually tankers have a TACAN on them that will let you find them. And that's what you select that for. But that can go. It's off right now because I don't need it. But that's usually when you have it set to. IFF. In the real airplane, this is used to, if you see someone, I think I already talked about this on the ground, but it'll tell you who's friend or foe. That's all you need to learn about. Weapons and avoidance tutorials, I will show you how to fix that, how to use it. But right now, 3, whatever your squawk is, C and C mode need to be selected for a squawk code. EW, weapons tutorial, show you that later. ROLT, that's if you're ground, you can set those, but right now it's blacked out because it can't. Radios, 2 channels. I actually set the, I can go channel S or set whatever those I want, and I'll automatically set that, so I can just go back to channel 1. Same thing with channel 2, I can set that to whatever I want. Put that back to channel 2 though. There we go. Volume for VLR and S, stuff like that. Show you that in the advanced tutorials, navigation tutorial, which I'll do a longer flight into since I need to explain everything. Most of this is probably boring because it's not really explaining anything you guys want me to see, talk about, but it'll give you the general point for beginners. So if you ever want to go back to this page, if you're like an early warning, and this is also can be used as a DDI. You can go through, I can put my HSI on here even. I'll take it off of this display, but I can put anything on there I want, stores, whatever. It can be used as an edge. It can be used as another one. You have some basic options here for quick options. CNI, you select that if you want to go back to this normal page. Ready? Alrighty, see there's a couple more of you on, so if anybody wants to see anything, feel free, post it, please. Anything you want to see, anything you want me to do. No weapons here, though. That's a little ways off for people who are just landing the airplane. That's a long ways off. And I will usually stream, because I'm putting these all on YouTube for anybody who wants to know. These are all going to be on YouTube. Probably this one will be on here later tonight. Most of them I will stream, but if I don't want to stream it, I will just post it on YouTube. Starting a whole new series, I'll put my channel in the chat. Oh, it's the same as my Skype, whatever. Alright. So right now we're just following the route, and that's pretty much all we're doing right now, just chilling. I guess I'll show you the modeling of this beautiful airplane. Actually, there's the quick thing I need to tell you about the VDI. So I'll give you a head start when we start talking about weapons. Now there's something called on the joystick. I'll explain to you real quick. Called a castle switch. Now, actually, you can remove the joystick if you want. For that, I'll tell you about that earlier. Now, the castle switch lets you select. If you see this little diamond on the right DDI, now that is displaying my HOTAS has control of that screen. So my TDC, which is saying that you move across a radar to find what you want to target, whatever. Display it in the weapon tutorial. Don't worry about it. But that's how I control. That's what screen my HOTAS is controlling. So if I hit Control Up arrow, set it to my HUD, and now I have a little dot in between my vector. That's explaining I have TDC control over the HUD. And explain that. See this little thing right here? That's actually me moving with the arrow keys for TDC. That's what that is. Shift delete gets rid of it. Now I have control of the left DDI at the diamond. If you go control down arrow once, that'll give you control this the center screen. One more time will give you control of the screen, which I usually never use. So you're not doing anything. There's no position it needs to be in. It's kind of whatever screen you need to have stuff. Now we're turning because we hit 4.3. I'll point that out. But there's nothing castle switch needs to be on. And also continuing with the cool little tweaks in this airplane. Control Shift H will turn on my heads-up display. So that will show me everything. I can actually look down at that waypoint right there. That's where it's based, and that's where it is. That's where the target is. The waypoint my airplane's actually targeting right now, but that's waypoint 2 was on there. And there's two crosshairs in the middle. And if I put it on the HUD, the screen will go away. Now I just turned the castle switch to the head-mounted display. Now those little crosshairs, I can put anywhere on the lane and hit enter. Now I'm not going to do it right now because the airplane will start heading toward it, but enter, and that will designate that wherever that crosshair is pointed as a target. That's really good because if you're in a hot situation and you need to get a Maverick shot off, for example, and you do not want to have the flare, which is a laser target designator, slew over there and try to find it, you can put that crosshair in the general vicinity of the target, and it automatically set all the instruments in the cockpit to look at that, and then you can use your flare to refine that. I will explain that in probably the advanced weapon tutorial. Alright, there you go. Now, any of you knowing, Control Shift H gets rid of it. Anything, it's no use in navigation skills. Alright, so any of you who want to know, I'm doing all the beginner's tutorials first. So the next tutorial will be a little more advanced. It'll be actually probably to a, I don't know what I'm going to do. It'll just be how to learn all the jamming the radar. It'll be a radar tutorial. I still not know, but I might shoot something down, and that would be pretty much a tactical weapons, beginners for tactical systems, and that's not actually going to go in any bomb trapping or anything like that. They're just explaining what a jamming is, what radar modes are there, how to find a target, how to set up a target in FSX, stuff like that, how to use the flare, and we might get a couple gunshots off. We might shoot something down, I don't know yet. So that's what's coming next, and after that we will have we'll probably do a normal tactical weapons tutorial, which will drop bombs, and I'll show you how to do all that, different weapons. I'll show you how to use every main type of weapon, GPS guided, laser guided, stun bombs, everything, gun, air-to-air missiles. I'll probably have an air-to-ground tutorial, an air tutorial, then in about a week I'll go back and do all those over in an advanced way. It'll show. So what I'm doing here is kind of a 2-week course per se, where you can go on a day and learn a part of the airplane, and in 2 weeks you could probably have this airplane flying very well. You could probably know pretty much what you're doing. And now that's what I'm aiming for here, to give all the beginners a quick leap into the airplane. Nothing crazy, not saying the manual or any But if you do need to have a question about something, and you're not streaming, I'm not streaming, just go to the Tacpack wiki, just look it up, VRS Tacpack wiki, and type in what system you want to learn about. Like if you want to know how to drop a bomb, type in the name of that bomb, and it'll pull you up a complete page on how to drop it, all the system descriptions, how to use it, how to drop it, all the different modes of it, everything. Very nice feature. I love more developers need to do set of manuals doing a wiki. Wikis are much better. It's quick glance. Oh yeah, that's how you do that. That's cool. It's very much cooler. Alright, now we're approaching MVA, which for my flight over here right now, that's the we're getting extremely close to Fallon, which there it is. It's only 63 miles away. Now it says we've already passed to the point where we can start descending toward it, but that's on a normal descent rate. I forget what the descent rate is. I'm gonna have to look that up. But we've already passed that point where we can descend to it. But remember, this airplane's a fighter. It's not made to do a nice, gentle, calm thing. I could pretty much right now, if I wanted to go descend a waypoint, the MVA, the waypoint we just passed, if I want to get to it, I just roll the nose over, force the airplane back, and it will drop to ground level in about a couple seconds. So we're pretty much good on that point. But I can actually start using pitch hold, which is FPAH. I can probably start doing a gentle descent. So I'm going to disable the autopilot by selecting Z, by hitting Z, and I can just put the airplane down and say that's good. FPAH, put my sequence back on, and that's starting to send the airplane at a comfortable 1,500 feet per minute rate, and the autopilot will automatically keep that. Alright, 50 miles away, I can actually see the airport. That's it. So we're lined up perfectly for the runway, which is good. We're going to need a little more down force, though. There we go. That's having us get altitude. The autopilot is trying to keep the altitude. Plenty of fuel. This airplane's very efficient fuel-wise. That's how much fuel we spent during the trip. That's nothing. That's, what is it, 1,500 pounds of fuel. That's it. So, very, very fuel efficient airplane. This is not with any external tanks on the airplane or anything. So, I'll do a mid-air refueling tutorial too. And of course, I'll redo this navigation tutorial and everything for carriers. Carriers is a much advanced level because you gotta learn how to fly this airplane. For say, you gotta learn how to take turns while keeping an altitude. You have to get very good at those things to do carrier patterns and stuff like that. And I will do a full-up carrier how-to list using the T-45 and then going out of this thing. Using the T-45 from Catania is actually very good. You might not see them. It's the same thing in FSX. It's actually much better to learn on because it's much slower. You can actually look at stuff. You have a couple seconds to decide about stuff. It's much easier to keep the AOA, which is the angle of attack, on the carrier approach. It's just a better airplane to practice in. That's why the Navy made it. So then we'll go into this thing, and it's a fighter. I mean, it's not made to fly at super slow speeds. The Super Hornet, which is the E model, the Echo model is what we're flying right now. It's the only one VRS has. They're making an F and maybe a G, but it's actually better at slow speed flying than the original Hornet. And it's actually it's one of the best fighters at low speed flight. It's just no fighter is supposed to be going at 130 knots, and it's not going to make any sharp turns. So it's very hard to learn in an airplane like this. Not like a T-45, it's pretty much got straight wings, and it's very low. It's like an A-10. Alright, now we got a good altitude going here. See the airplane. I could probably actually put the nose up a little bit here. Alright, there we go. Now we'll go ahead and start learning start getting ready for landing. The first thing we do, go down here and make sure all of our flare dispensers, chaff dispensers, our radar warning receiver, countermeasures and jammers are all off. Radar is off, flares off, laser check designator off, laser is off, and IFF, the ISC is fine. Quick thing I forgot to show you about the HSI while we have a couple seconds here. We go into data mode. This will show us the latitude and longitude of waypoint 4, which is KNFL, which is Fallon, the elevation of that waypoint, which is 0 because it's a waypoint, where it is in the sequence we have set up. And this shows the aircraft's latitude and longitude, what grid it's in. This is for maps, map use, the wind speed, wind direction. Actually don't know what that is. This is, I'll figure it out. It's like there's so much stuff in this airplane, because I know the weapon stuff. It's hard to remember what each little thing in this airplane is. I'll look up what that is. I remember reading something about it. This is the GPS time, how off the GPS is, which is 0 feet, which means it's dead on. TACAN, which would be 98x is what it's saying, but in VV, which means there's nothing, we don't have it on, so it isn't fine. If we turn it on real quick though, you'll see in a couple seconds here it'll pop up with MVA. It'll show us the range and everything from that. Let's get back and just hit HSI. Alright, simple trick here. If you want to get to that airport, you just put the vector on the airport, it'll pilot sequence bolt. Not bolt, FPH. There we go. Once we get closer to it, I'll disable the autopilot. I'm trying to fly the autopilot as much as you can, because people who are trying to copy this flight, it's much easier to concentrate on other things while they're doing this. And I'm not going to do a pattern, which is what you would normally do in any Navy airplane, is play the pattern for the runway, like you're landing on a carrier. I will not do that to keep the skill level, because these people are just now flying the airplane down a little bit, but I would just land normally, like a Cat 3 approach per se, not using the ILS, not using auto throttle though, but I will land it like I'm landing on a carrier for say with the AOA, like it should be, no flare, pretty much a hard landing on the runway. In Fallon, I actually have foul scenery, so the left runway, I think what runway is like 31 left, or something, I forget what the runway names are. I'm not really concentrated on that right now, but actually has marks for a carrier runway, so I might land on those, I don't know. Probably won't though. Alright, there's 2 runways. Alright, I'll now fly the airplane manually. Hit Z to get rid of the autopilot. Turn right here. Get rid of ATC. Now 250 knots is when I'm going to put the gear flaps down. There's no flap schedule in this airplane. It's 250 for down. You can see this auto flaps right now. They're already coming out. See, they're already coming out. So I'll put both of them down. Now down here, I will say hook bypassed field, because if not, I will not get the AOA indication until my hook is down. And like I'm carrier landing, that's something to prevent you from messing up. But in this airplane, when we're doing a field landing, you can turn into field mode, which will, if the hook's up, it's fine. We're high, I can see that. We're just generically high, I can see. Alright, so this is, I'm going to pause it when we get closer here so I can show you the indications on the HUD. Slow here, I'm too far out. That's weird, the Papias are like halfway down the runway. Huh. And landing on the left runway here. getting a little closer till I can start setting up and getting down to a speed where we can start setting up for landing. EDC I'll do in the advanced tutorial. I didn't do it here because if I was, I would jump on VATSIM, but there's no VATSIM controllers, or I don't want to deal with it right now. It's just too much of a pain for learning the airplane. Now I'll drop the throttle a little bit, start getting to about 135 or about 135 knots for landing, and then I will maintain 135 knots. Now when I get into a correct position, I will pause this in to show you all the indications I'm meaning on the HUD. Alright, here we go. So we're maintaining 138 knots. This airplane's a little heavy, so I'm going to be maintaining 140 around there. We have a yellow circle in the AOA indicator. That means we're on our AOA. That's correct. Our AOA indication on the HUD is gone. That's why, because we're in the E bracket. This is the E bracket right here. This up dash, there's three dashes, the up dash, the middle dash, and the lower dash. You want to keep this vector right here around the middle dash, and then you'll get the yellow circle. And no matter what, you want to keep that there. You're going to use your throttle and your speed to drop or raise altitude. You can literally, if the airplane was trimmed perfectly, you could probably land this airplane with the throttle, no problem. So you want to keep it like that. There's no flare when we hit the ground. The AOA is going to stay like that all the way until we slam against the runway. And a good pilot is known not even to know where the runway is, and when we hit the deck, or when we hit the runway, they don't even know. They're actually surprised by when they hit it because they're so focused on the AOA. Now this is easy because there's no ball. On an aircraft carrier there'll be a ball where we have to kind of line up and get the glide slope right. The Peppies are too far down. I don't even know why they're a little way over there. It's a glitch or something. But don't follow them. Just put your vector right before the runway where you want to touch down. I'll teach more about how to maintain the AOA and everything when we get to carrier landings. Right now, I think we're good. You know what I'm kind of talking about here. And you know, I forgot to check, but we are well within, yep, we are well within 44,000 pounds is for carrier landings. I forget what land, because I never land on an actual runway at an airport. But there's a maximum weight on carriers, and there's a maximum weight you can land on runways. They're different. So just if you're under 4,430, 300 pounds, you're fine, because that's the maximum carrier landing weight. Alright, so I will go ahead and land this. Keep concentrated. Don't look at anything else. Everything on the screens, don't look about it. I'll change the two things you need to worry about. When we get and you see a little red arrow, but if you're looking at this, you see a red arrow. Look at your E bracket and see you're going down. You're going to be approaching this little bottom bracket. That's when you're going over speed per se. You're speeding up and you're gaining altitude. You don't want that. Reduce the throttle. That is a very safe scenario because it's very easy to get out of. And if you have to abandon because you're so bad with it, just apply the throttle a little more and get out of it. That's very easy. The situation that'll kill people and have you eject is the scenario where you're very close to the ground. You're just short of the runway, and this is green. This is a green upside down triangle. That means this airplane, you're getting low and slow. At that point, you need to apply power immediately. I don't care what your glide slope is or nothing. That means the airplane is approaching, and if it gets to the point where this is just a green triangle, no yellow circle, and this is off the E bracket, at that point you're going to go around or on a carrier wave off. So you can try again. It's a very dangerous scenario, and you won't know until you actually do it. This airplane, once you get below a certain speed, depending on your weight, this airplane will drop like a rock. And that if you do not apply power immediately, like full afterburner, at that point you're going to have to eject. So make sure, concentrate, do not let that happen. I'd rather you be fast and high and go around that way than being low and slow. differential braking, so I'll turn that off for the next tutorial. I'm going in the grass. That's not normal because differential brakes set on a keyboard. I don't have any rudder pedals, so. Alright, what you saw there was, if you saw right when I hit the ground, is I was so concentrated on AOA, and I thought I was landing on a carrier. When I hit the ground, I actually advanced the throttles a full afterburner. That's something that if you're so used to landing on a carrier, like after a cruise or something, you usually do, because when you hit a carrier deck, you always advance the throttles a full afterburner if you don't catch a wire. And that's exactly what I did when I hit the ground, is I advanced the throttles, and I quickly, my brain cave said, hey, you're on a runway, so I immediately cut those back. But that's what you normally do. And you see, I was off the center line because I was trying to land on the carrier landing patterns. That was those markings on the runway. I was trying to land on those because I might as well have some practice while I'm doing this. And usually you land on the center line. But usually if you're a Navy pilot and you're coming to a field that has those on the runway you're landing, you usually actually land on those because you get all the practice you can get. Alright, so after landing, we're going to put the wing full to spread. I'm going to turn the wheel steering on nose, flaps all the way up. Unarm the seat, canopy if you like. I'm not going to do it because it's going to get loud and I don't want it to blow out my voice. After that, you're pretty much good in terms of systems and stuff. Just taxi back to the airport. If you put the landing right on, you can turn that off. I didn't because I have the shockwave lights on and I hate taxiing with the shockwave lights, which I wish they updated and got this rid of. But you go in the ACM in the VRS Superbug's ACM and change that so you can have the normal landing lights on there. You don't have to have the shockwave ones on, but whatever. So the sounds in this thing are generated by A-18E. Pull into this spot right here. Now I'm gonna fold the wings real quick, and usually you would sit here. But if you just landed for about 5 minutes, the engine's running, let them cool down and get the temperatures down. I just taxied for about 2 minutes, and I don't really want to stay here for 5 minutes, so I'm just going to do standard engine off procedure. So blades off, engines off. Cut the throttles. Lights off. Your left and right generators are off. Your battery automatically kicks off. Parking brake is set. You want to turn your DDIs off. So pretty simple. Everything else in this airplane is pretty much ready to go. This airplane's extremely simple to turn on and off, pretty much. It's not like an airliner where you have to hit 30 and there's a massive list of things you have to do. Very easy. Actually, turn the HUD off. Very easy to do. Put the ladder down, why not? So thanks guys for watching. And all you YouTubers out there, this is going to sound like really weird from your aspect. If this was a stream, if you guys did not know, if you're watching this on YouTube, this was actually originally a stream. So thanks guys for watching. That was your basic navigation and systems tutorial on the F-18E Super Hornet from VRS. The add-ons I used, why not get these out of the way? Of course the VRS Superbug and the Tacpack. If you saw things different, if you're flying the normal Superbug, because I have the Tacpack installed. If you don't have the Tacpack, it's a completely new bird, the Tacpack installed, and it's very fun. Get it. Rex for Orbix, and for some Orbix Global, some freeware scenery. If you go to VLSO.com, you get there's a bunch of sceneries like this on there. on here. Fallon actually got somewhere else, just looking at FSX Fallon scenery. No Nellis scenery, even though I did have Everstream Team McCarran in there. If you saw when I took off, you saw Las Vegas International Airport, or McCarran. That was Everstream Team. That was pretty much it, though, for this video. I also had to participate FSX, or whatever it's called, for the vortices in the contrails, even though I did not zoom out when we were at cruise. So thanks guys for watching. Hopefully this helps a lot of you, and see you guys later.